Excuse me. Hi, my name is Courtney, and I am very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself. But time marches on. What the hell else are you going to do? You can't sit around and feel sorry for yourself all the time. It doesn't get you anywhere. That being said, I'm I'm in kind of a mood today. Didn't start that way. I was in a pretty good mood this morning, a little tired. I've had a rough few nights. The last, I knew that was going to go off. That's my roasted Brussels sprouts. But the last several nights, I either sleep really well or not at all. So I went from 2 hours to 8 hours to 3 hours to 6 hours. I'm a little tired. I had an appointment with a new doctor today. I went in, it was in December. I went and saw a general practitioner here in Texas. And she was like, wow, you got a lot of health issues. How about, let's go see this specialist. So I'm going, I was supposed to go to an endocrinologist on Friday, but that was just a complete disaster. It didn't happen. I didn't make it. And then I went to a rheumatologist today. And she was pleasant enough. But here's the rant. That was a freaking waste of my time, and I'm kind of pissed about. I'm more than kind of pissed about it. I'm really pissed about it. I mean, she even told me, "Well, you don't need to come see me for this." Then why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that when they made the appointment? Why didn't you say, you know what, she doesn't need to come in here? So I drove. It was an hour of driving time total, a little over an hour of driving time, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. My appointment was at 10. I didn't get out of there until it was like 11. Well, I didn't get home till 12:15. So it was 11:45ish when I got out of there. Granted, I did stop and get lab work, but the lab work, that was very quick. But she didn't tell me anything new. She didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. We did discuss going on Cymbalta, which I have very mixed feelings about, but I have a really good friend who is a retired doctor. So I texted him. I'm like, what do you know about this? And so I literally just got off the phone with him, and I'm probably going to give it a try, but it was just really frustrating. I mean, you get to the point when you have a lot of health issues where you just feel like they're soaking you for money. Now, granted, that rheumatologist could have soaked me for a hell of a lot more money. She could have been like, oh yeah, you need to be back here. But I just feel like they should have denied the initial appointment. Just said, no, we don't need to see her. You can told the GP you can treat her. And maybe that's an unrealistic expectation of me. It could be, but it's just frustrating. You go through all this trouble, and it's when you have health issues, it's especially when you have weird shit like I do. Excuse my language. Going to a new doctor is always daunting because I don't know how they're going to respond to me. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what their take is going to be. Now, granted, I don't see a lot of new doctors, or I didn't in Alaska because they didn't have there wasn't a lot of options. In fact, this rheumatologist said, well, have you ever been to a neurologist for your migraines? Like, well, no, I'm from a small town in kind of the middle of nowhere. No, I haven't seen a neurologist for my migraines. I had a general practitioner treating my migraines. I don't know. It just left me in. I would have been better off not going. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I would have been better off not going because, again, she didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. Although she did compliment me a lot on, well, you're doing a lot of the right things. You know what you're supposed to do. You're obviously doing them. I guess if I'm really honest about it, my big frustration was I was hoping, I don't know why the hell I would have ever thought this, but I think I was hoping she was going to have something just magical and wonderful to say and was going to change my life. And she didn't. Although she did tell me that being in Texas is definitely a better option than being in Alaska. She's yeah, that's a very good thing that you did though. But okay, so now let's talk about something positive because it's Monday and I don't like to start my week on a negative note. So let's talk about an evidence file. What the hell is an evidence file? Why do you need one? Look, we have a negative bias. It's evolution. You're not going to outdo evolution. It's evolutionary. Negative people, they might be a threat. People who are kind to you, usually, not always, but usually they're not a threat. Negative people, they might be a threat. That's why we have such a negative bias. That's why research shows it takes 5 compliments to outdo 1 negative comment. Isn't that crazy? Here's a great quote from Hera Estroff Morano. I totally butchered that poor person's name. Nastiness just makes a bigger impact on our brains. It does. Like I said, you need 5 compliments to outdo 1 crappy comment. That's a hell of a ratio. But you know what? That's why you should pay compliments every day. That's why you should be kind to people. And I know a lot of you have heard me talk about this before on other videos, but it's really sad. Several years ago, I threw up a tweet. I didn't even think anything of it. I just threw it up and literally walked away. And it was about something about how men never receive compliments. And as someone who tries really hard, I mean, I seriously make a conscious effort to lift people around me up, male and female. I was like, that's so crazy. I threw it up and walked away. It spurred a week-long conversation. And my account wasn't very big at that point. Our men don't receive compliments. And that's really sad because you know what? They need them too. Everybody needs to be acknowledged. Everybody needs to be told, hey, you know what? That was really nice what you did. Thank you. Hey, the way you handled that was really cool. You did an amazing job. You don't have to compliment somebody on their looks. You can compliment them on their kind deeds. You can compliment them on their accomplishments. But men need compliments too, damn it. But back to the evidence file. Men should get an evidence file. It's a great confidence booster. Look, the greatest gift that we could give ourselves is to see ourselves in the positive light that the people who love us see us from. Oh, I didn't word that very well, but you get my point, I hope. An evidence file, this is mine. It's just, I need a new one desperately. It's just so overstuffed. I actually have a pile of crap on my table that I shouldn't say crap, that won't fit in here. But this is tangible proof that I'm a good person. This is tangible proof. This is evidence that I've made an impact on people's lives. This helps me track my wins. Look, the big events, the big wins, they don't come up very often. You have got to celebrate your small wins. This helps me do that. It's a book of wins. It's literally a book of wins. I have notes in here. This is a card and a little note from a friend of mine, a colleague who loves Elvis. And I thought that was a great picture. So I saved the picture too. But she loves me. She's actually turned into one of my closest friends. And she writes me, she doesn't send me a lot of cards, but when she does, she writes the most beautiful, supportive things. I've got notes in here from, oh, whoops, there goes some of my stuff because I have it's just so overstuffed. I have notes in here from people that I've encountered at work that I've made a difference in their life. I have a ton of notes from one of my former assistants. I have thank you notes in here from a janitor that worked in my building. Co-workers, colleagues, just people that I've met along the way, people that I've met at conferences that I impacted them. They've sent me notes. They all go in here. I have notes from my mom in here that are really positive. Look, you need an evidence file because you need to know, you need to be able to look at something when things are tough, when the shit is hitting the fan and you feel like you're just overwhelmed and you're like, how in the hell can I possibly keep going? This is how. This is tangible proof that you are important, that you matter, that you make an impact to people. And it doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, this is literally just a cheap ass little 3-ring binder. Granted, I need a bigger one or a second one, but you should keep track of this stuff. It's important. Anyway, I am going to be looking through my evidence file tonight because I'll admit it, I am very damned cranky about the way this doctor's appointment went. And again, it was probably an unrealistic expectation on my part that's led to this disappointment. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still disappointed. It doesn't matter why. I'm still, honestly, I would say I'm bitterly disappointed, but you know what? It is what it is. The whole thing with chronic, I used to always laugh when people like, oh my God, you still don't feel good? Well, yeah, I still have a chronic being the key word. I still have a chronic issue. I have a couple because I overachieve and drop me a line. I try to be, I think my connection dropped. Anyway, if you have any questions, drop me a line. I try to be really responsive. I'll be back Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central.